order at 3:18 p.m. All right. As we don't have a flag in here today, we're going to skip the Pledge of Allegiance. And for anyone that doesn't understand why we're in this room today, we did have the boardroom booked, but the president of the school decided that he needed to have a meeting today. He does have priority over us, so that's why we had to move our meeting into this room today. So thank you all for your flexibility for being able to move in here today. So we're going to have the secretary will now call roll.
Okay, Madam President, we have 7 officers, 2 legislators, 1 advisor, and 6 guests.
Thank you. We'll now review the minutes from last meeting. Everyone should have a copy of the minutes in their binder. If y'all just take a second to review those. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Okay. The minutes stand approved as read. Next we'll move into the committee reports. For issues and concerns, I have nothing to report as of yet. We'll hear the reports from the Activities Committee from our Vice President.
Madam President, Activities Report. We had an orientation for the new inductees yesterday, and it will be a mandatory meeting for all members and will be held once every month at the end of the month. For the summer, we'll be having a golf tournament on the 6th of June. Please get with Madam President for more details on that. We need volunteers to man the event. We'll be having an open mic event on June the 13th, so please try and be there to enjoy what we have put together for everyone. We'll also need volunteers to set up and break down. To correct the date I earlier gave, we'll be having the main campus cookout on the 27th of June from 11 till 2 p.m. in the gym, not on the 20th. There will be a mini cookout in the Springway campus. We'll let you guys know when we fully set that up. That's all for the summer. To prepare for the fall, there will be an activities meeting on Tuesday, June 6th at 1 in room 14 to plan for the events for the semester. Please attend because we kind of need a small group that can really work together. Finally, please, all questions and suggestions that are events should be passed through me for consideration and approval. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Now we'll hear a report from our budget, from the Budget Committee, from our treasurer.
Yes, Madam President. The current budget is $10,768, $10,768.84, and that's what we currently have in our account. And we have slated some motions, I believe, that will be coming forward to use up some of those funds. That is all I have for now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. We'll hear from the Scrapbook Committee from our Secretary.
There's nothing to, there's nothing to, no information to give you right now.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Secretary. We'll now hear from the Publicity Committee, from our parliamentarian.
Thank you, Madam President. I made the flyer for the open mic. I have it with me after this meeting. If you'd like to see, get with me and I'll show you. And I will need help getting all the old flyers off of the old billboards. So yeah, changing the paper. So I'll send you an email when I have more information on that as far as the date goes. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. Now we'll hear from the Volunteer Operations Coordinator from our Sergeant at Arms.
We currently have the North Carolina Missions of Mercy It's a dental program where they go out and give free dental checkups for less fortunate families. And they are looking for volunteers. I need to get as much, anyone that is thinking about participating, just let me know so we can get it together and fill out the registration forms. And they need people to unload and set up the clinic and volunteer to register people. They needed people to direct traffic and parking, patient greeter, they need patient registration, a translator if any one of you are good with Spanish and want to do that too, and lots of other different opportunities. If you get with me, I can give you the information, and we can do it as a group, and that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Madam Sergeant at Arms. We'll now move into unfinished business. Seeing as there is no unfinished business, we'll move into new business. First, we will do our induction of new members. So anyone that was here yesterday for the orientation, if you'll please stand. Give me 1 second.
Point of privilege.
If you please raise your right hand, okay, and repeat after me. I, state your name, pledge to uphold the student government associations,
Pledge to uphold the student government associations,
Constitution and bylaws,
Constitution and bylaws,
and act in the best interest
and act in the best interest
of students in Fayetteville Technical Community College.
of the students at Fayetteville Technical Community College.
Okay, let's do it. Welcome, welcome. And our treasurer will pass you all your name tags, your name badges. And congratulations to our new inductee. Okay, is there any new business to be brought to the floor?
Yes, Madam President, I have 2 motions. Madam President, I move that the SGA hold a grill out on main campus on June 27th for the students. We have heard that there will be 800 students on campus on that day and have reserved Grandsons Catering for the event. And they have agreed to do the event for $3,600. I move that we allocate $3,600 from our summer budget for this event.
All right. There's a motion on the floor that states that the SGA hold a grill out on main campus on June 27th for the students. 800 students are on campus that day, and we have reserved Grandsons Catering for the event. They have agreed to do the event for $3,600. I move that we allocate $3,600 from our summer budget for this event. Is this motion seconded?
Second.
Okay, the motion has been properly seconded by Catherine Jones. Okay. And we'll now move this motion into a vote. All in favor? the card now? Okay. Okay, we have, any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, so the motion passes with 13, with a unanimous approval. Is there any more new business to be brought to the floor?
Yes, Madam President, I have another motion. I move that we allocate $253.76 for the price of 2 varieties of ice cream sandwiches that we will be planning on handing out in our efforts of spreading the word of SGA on SGA Day on July 9th, 2012.
There's a motion on the floor that reads, I move that we allocate $253.76 for the price of 2 varieties of ice cream sandwiches that we plan to hand out in our efforts of spreading the word of SGA.
Excuse me, I just wanted to show somebody in this room. Thank you.
Of SGA on SGA Day on July 9th, 2012. Is this motion seconded? Okay. The motion has been properly seconded by Carnella Fobbs. And does anyone need to have a discussion about this vote, about this motion? Anyone need information? Okay, I'll move this motion into a vote. All in favor? Alright, any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. So the motion has been approved with a unanimous approval. Okay. Is there any more new business to be brought to the floor?
Thank you, Madam President. I, Bianca Reyes, move that SGA allot $245 for a tent for open mic on June 13th.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor that reads that SGA allot $245 for a tent for open mic on June 13th. Does anyone need to have a discussion about this motion? Oh, yes, this motion needs to be seconded. Does anyone second this motion? Okay. Motion has been properly seconded by Tracy Ann Mitchell. Now, does anyone need to entertain a discussion about this motion? Yes. You have a question?
I heard.
Alright,
Same point of
is it a huge tent for like everyone to sit in, or is it like used for the purpose that we use the gazebo for?
Yes, it's big enough for, I'm under the impression that it's big enough to have people, underneath like a larger amount. It's gonna be hot, so we wanna have the,
So it's just for
Around
summer?
yes.
Can I fill this? I have the details.
Sure, go ahead.
Point of information.
Point of information, yes. The tent is a 20 by 30 tent, and it seats, It seats 90 people underneath the tent, and it will be designed where we're planning on holding it for people who are there to view the entertainment to be able to sit underneath in the sun, and where the band will be playing will be shaded area, so we'll be using the tent for people to sit underneath.
Does anyone else need any more information?
Madam President, General Counsel, I wanted to ask a point of information. Is there a way that you could use the tents that we use yearly for the spring fling and the fall festivals and kind of set those up in the same amount without paying anything? Has that option been explored?
when I'm thinking about that, as far as having an audience under it, you'll have there's 4 legs for each tent. So you'll have a mass of legs, that tangles up the whole flow of things, the entertainment, that interferes with the entertainment and everything. We had planned to use one of the tents to house the performers under, but that was
Point of clarification. But what he's saying, I get it, but you could put one tent, it doesn't have to be all together, it could be one on this end, one on that end, it doesn't have to be all in the middle. So I get what he's saying, with saving the money, instead of ordering one tent for $200, and you're not sure of how many people are gonna be there. So just using those tents and putting them all over in front of the gazebo, yeah, that will take out the confusion of the legs blocking people.
Point of information. How about we order the big tent and just have the other tents in reserve if we ever need them?
Point of clarification on the information. The open mic will not be held at the gazebo because we had many faculty complaints due to the noise. And so the open mic will be held here in the grassy area between Tony Rand Center and Horse Disc. And the band and everything will be set up using a couple of the tents that we already have. And they will be housed underneath those. Next to those trees, those big trees. But they will also, we plan on using a large tent in the open area where it's all sunny so that people had places underneath. The whole idea with having a couple of scattered smaller 10x10s in the area also detracts from being able to walk through there where that sidewalk is. And because if we're having them scattered in different areas, that sidewalk is close enough that those tents would be basically on top of the performers. And when I was over there checking that out, that way it's just easier to have the one tent in one central location. That way you're not confusing anything and people have a place to go. And the band also has some shade as well.
Madam President, General Counsel, I really hope that I'm not speaking out of turn, but I hope you would take this into consideration. Working with the open mics, people do not like to sit next to each other while they're doing open mic. They like to be scattered. If you look at the past videos that we had, people would sit with their small group of people, with another small group, small pockets. They like to sit in different areas because they don't really know they don't know each other. So I would just hope that you guys would consider, because you could use that money, probably buy water for them to drink while they're out there, or to get icicles or something like that. The smaller tents would probably work better. Like I said, I hope I'm not out of place, but they will work better because you can scatter them in different places with a few different chairs, and also block the sun and save you a little bit of money. But I just hope you take that into consideration.
I'll now move this motion into a vote. All in favor? All right, all opposed? Any abstentions? All right, this motion passes with 6 approvals, 5 opposed, 0 opposed and 5 abstentions. Okay. Is there any more new business to be brought to the floor? Yes, there is.
Council.
I, Governor, can move that we allocate $2,000 for Skills USA for their trip since they requested for $10,000.
Okay, now I'll take a moment to clarify, about what Madam Vice President's brought to the floor. There's a group on campus known as Skills USA, and they're planning a trip to conference, in, Kansas, Missouri, and originally they requested $10,000 of our budget. And we've surmised that about $2,000 is all that we could afford to offer them. This group, now they've made the motion for this money, and something to consider is that they've not been a part of SGA functions. They've not helped us at all. Also, the money that they need, they want to move it into, they're using it for registration. On the registration, it comes up to, yeah, it's $800. Well, they need $1,100 for the registration. And whether we provide them the money or not, the school's gonna provide the money for them. We are allowed to offer clubs, funds. So by allowing this particular group by offering this amount to this group, it does open the floor for other clubs to come forth and ask us for money. So, let's be mindful of that. Does anyone else need any clarification on this motion?
If they're point of information. If they're asking for this amount of money, how come they haven't sent a representative to clarify?
I pose the same question. They don't have a representative here to state their case. That was their choice. Yes.
Point of information, why does it have to be 2,000? Other organizations and clubs only don't even ask for at least 1,000. Why does it have to be 2,000? Why they can't do fundraisers and stuff like that? Why do they have to come to exactly SGA to ask for 10,000 and then was discussed for 2,000 when I feel like they should at least, well, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but at least 1,000 because they haven't sent a representative and this is my first time actually hearing about Skills USA.
They did, I left that information. They have had fundraisers. They were able to raise $1,143.79. $1,100 of those dollars is actually going to be used for the registration. So in their funds, they actually have about $50 to their name. So, is there any more information?
Yeah, point of information, Madam President. What exactly is it that they do in this conference that they'll be attending? They have not provided any information as to what it is they're trying to go to.
Does anyone have that information?
Point of clarification,
You still have to say point of information regardless.
point of information, this Skills USA, they're going to a competition, and I was going to go to Skills USA competition, but it was with the Culinary Club, and it's where you represent different areas. You can do culinary arts, welding, plumbing, all different types of stuff, but it depends on what you enter in, and it's not very cheap. I know it's not cheap because what they were asking us to pay was a ridiculous amount. So I know it's not cheap, but it's a lot of them that are going, so it's even more money because they're allowing everyone to go. They don't have a screening process where they say, you have a chance of getting to nationals, so you will go. So that's why. That's my point of view on it. I'm not sure if that's what they've come up with.
Okay, we have another.
Point of clarification on the information. Skills, she gave an apt description of Skills USA. They are from different areas of study here at this school that compete at a state and then national level. Currently, the members of those clubs 8 of them qualified for nationals at their state competition, which they've already been at this past semester, and now 8 of their students are eligible for national competitions, and that's what this competition is. It's in Arkansas.
No, it's in Kansas, Missouri.
Kansas, Missouri. And in most competitions, the price for registration and everything goes up for doing the competitions. The majority of their budget is for their plane tickets and for lodging and all that. The $1,100 for registration, they're able to cover. They're just not able to cover the rest of their funds with everything that they've been able to do fundraising wise. But that is what the money is for, and that's what they do. They represent our school and the abilities that they've learned from this school, and they're basically showing that off, and basically showing off the school and the good things that the school is able to teach and show people. They show those skills off to the rest of the country at the national level. That's what they're doing.
Point of information now. Is there?
Point of information to piggyback on what Patrick, my bad. You can't just look at it negative. You just throwing money out. When other teams and clubs come from this school and go out and do well, that makes the school look better. That means more money for the school. So that means more money for us. So for you to say, oh, let's give them $2,000, go ahead, that's like you saying, Big Daddy, I'm giving you some allowances, go ahead and y'all do y'all thing. And when they get back, they can say, thank you, SGA, for allowing us to go show our skills. So in other words, it's like a chain reaction. You send them up there and they do well, it looks good on you. So y'all might not have to send a whole 2,000, but at least you should send something. So that, because if we didn't have the budget, we would be asking somebody else for the money. And if we do well, we would be thanking them. So that's kind of how you have to see it. And I do understand they haven't seen no representation, but on our end, have we told them that if you come work and show us that you really want it? Because I know we tried in the past to say if you were a club, you have to do certain hours, come to the meetings, and show yourself that you really want the money that we're allotting you. But have y'all sent that out, that information to say, these are the qualifications for you to ask for this money? If they have not heard, or I don't know the whole logistics of what our end of, what is it, but I just want to show y'all that it's a full circle. Being from Fayetteville Tech is a good thing. So if you send them off and they do well, it looks good on us.
And we have communicated with them that we do need, some participation on their part. And they, in the form that they submitted to us, they are willing to help us after the fact. So, Kat, would you have a...
Thank you, Madam President, but Mr. President clarified for me already.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Treasurer.
Yes, my point of information, I was just curious, when exactly would we need to get an answer to them? And are we going to have time to get a more concrete answer from them as far as if we are supporting them, they need to likewise support this school? Because I do agree with him. I mean, we help them out, it is only going to help us out. But I just need to have a little bit more of an understanding of what that is that they can help us out by doing, and when do we need to let them know about our support.
Okay. We let them know that we were having a meeting today, and we would have an answer for them today. And that was the same point when we told them, send a representative, and all that. So today is pretty much today. To let them know.
Information, Madam President.
It was, I think, Marcus.
Oh, Marcus.
Point of information. If we do approve the money, might I suggest putting certain conditions on it? Like say, if they want to get more money in the future, they should send a representative as a mandatory gesture, and also a gesture of respect, and make it a precedent for other clubs who want to get money out of us to either send a representative for that request, or send a representative to be a permanent voting member of SGA.
Okay. I'll entertain 2 more points. I think Nicole had one.
Point of information. Is there any way we can just say, maybe not 2,000, but maybe like 1,500 or 1,000? take a standing vote on how much we should.
Right, we can submit another motion for a lesser amount, yes, we can do that. And then,
Madam President, General Counsel, point of information and a point of clarification. Point of information, have they submitted a date that they actually need the monies? Because last year we had a situation like this arise where 3M or SMP, they wanted SMC, they needed funds to go to conference as well. And clubs may only ask for an amount over $250 from SGA for a 3-year period. So they can only ask for this money one time in 3 years. If they submitted a date where they actually need the money, and if, because there's a lot of questions, there is a way that you all can table the bill, send maybe a couple representatives who are actually really passionate about the money with Skills USA, get to talk to them, bring them information back to the organization. You guys can get more information about it and understand what's really going on, so you're not just haphazardly throwing out money. It is very important that you do support your clubs if they need funds, because that's what you are here for, in order to make the school a better place. Help the clubs, because sending them to this competition, if they do well, it will look better on the school and on SGA. But it is important that you really know what you're voting on and what you're sending money to. So is there a deadline? Because I know you said you would give them an answer today, but to say you would give them an answer on a $2,000 figure is, I mean, that's a big amount of money. And I'm sure they will understand if you need more information.
right, just give me one moment, actually, the information. From the information that I have, they've not given us an exact date. Oh, they're going on the 23rd. They're going on the 23rd of June.
June 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
They can't even.
You can't even take two.
They're going on the 23rd of June. That's their leave date.
Well, if it's 23rd, it would have to be discussed today, and it would have to be rushed with them if I were still with SGA. I will vote for it just because it is, you do have a large sum budget. You've already planned out everything you're going to do for the summer. So the extra $2,000 or whatever you have left wouldn't actually go to anything else. So helping the club is good, but I would take this as a learning experience to make sure that whenever a club is requesting money, that you actually have somebody from SGA sit down with that person. And you have multiple meetings and understand the full effects of what you're voting for and what money you're sending through. Thank you, Madam President.
Ms. Sobers?
Point of privilege, just a little bit more background information. You are on a short timeline, but I don't make any decisions here. You guys make the decisions. Think about all the things that's attached to it. This budget year ends. If you have any leftover monies, it goes back to the state. If it goes back to the state says, "Ooh, you don't need that money, so we're going to decrease it." So you have to think about that. The second part is, you have it. If you have it, the things you mentioned in terms of looking good, and it'll come back to us, and twofold, and so on and so forth. That's something to consider. Next thing to consider is setting a type of precedent for next year. Other clubs see, oh, they gave so-and-so on 2,000, maybe we meet at 5, or whatever. You think about that. Yeah, granted, it's already written in the Constitution that they can only ask this once every 3 years, so you're not gonna have a, but you probably will have next year if you okay this. You're certainly gonna see this again. That's okay. Then piggybacking on what he said in terms of maybe something we already have some things in writing that's kind of a unofficial where every club can get this amount of money. So, Ms. Gann has already told you about that, right? But that's a small amount, like $200, $250. They don't have to do anything. But anything above that, then there's that request. And just common courtesy, respect, or whatever. I don't know if there's some kind of document or something that can come from SGA to the clubs, especially at the beginning of the year, in anticipation of things they might want to do that year. If you are anticipating possibly getting money from SGA, come to the meetings, give us some information, volunteer with some of our things, do fundraisers, whatever. You just think about that whole, the whole picture. It does appear that they're kind of like putting you in a corner right now because you have to decide. This is the meeting. You're not going to have really another meeting in a timely manner to get the money to them. So you got to decide now. That's the downside. And nobody likes to be put backed up in a corner. But that's just some things.
Thank you, Ms. Sobers, and I'll restate that we can put in a motion for a lesser amount if you all would like to do a lesser amount. In one moment,
Point of privilege.
Point of privilege.
I think they can spend it. Like Mr. Lee said, lack of planning on your part is not constitutional. It's not constitutional emergency. So, they shouldn't be, like you said, they shouldn't be back into a corner. Because that's what FTCC did. And it was 3 years. Yeah, it was 3 years. They did that to us when I was vice president.
But we tried it before. We were supposed to each club would have to put in a certain amount of hours, whether it would be the same person or a different person.
Yeah, we did that last year. But I suggest exactly the same for the SJ members that we have. That's a lot.
What you mean, like,
send her art club, send her the skills. Because if they know it's a SJ member, talk to them and they
so like liaison.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier to get people to come to you.
Well, they need to do that. No precedent.
That's I mean, if it's legitimate. It's coming up.
I know it will. Mine is the first one. I got money like it. It's the polo man.
It's your fault that you didn't listen.
I still had the second one. And you still had the third one. I got the first one. You got so it was 1, 2, 3. But I'm actually selling that one. And I'm about to get that. I'm gonna do his plan because I like what that was a smart thing. I actually told somebody about that, about the $10 on.
Well, like she said,
I did that with my back.
I'm gonna do that with that.
You can't do it.
You can't do that? You can't? Okay, so I told her right there. That had been spot now, like going to a rock.
But you gotta Ms. Richards. She's trying to.
Like in the next 2 years.
We can also reject.
I wanted to waiver that, make sure there weren't no like glitches, because I've heard some things.
But if you don't have to,
I love mine.
I love mine too, whether it's slow or not, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
It works for, it'll probably work for everyone.
See, that's the funny thing is,
I mean,
2
you
years
don't
ago,
want to
this thing actually, and now, I mean, it's still a great device, but
And people still
so
want
much,
it.
so much has changed. Because I remember when I was in high school, there was stuff that was just like, technology was going to turn on every 20 or every 48 hours. I was like, yeah, right. And now,
Yeah, that's a third generation. I thought I was born with that thing, and I was for a minute.
Order.
I know you can't call order on that. It's one privilege, right?
that's why I was like, let's go. Somebody there would be right.
She was right. She said point of clarification.
Yeah, she was. Right.
And right now what's happening is our treasurer's actually working out a figure for if we do donate the $2,000, how much we'll have left over. So you all can know what our budget will be after we donate the $2,000, if we should choose to do that. Okay, if you have a very good suggestion, then. Okay, our treasurer is ready.
Point of information. With giving them $4,000, with giving them $2,000, that helps to decrease the amount of money that is going back to the state. Because like Ms. Sober said, the state can and most likely will say, if we did not use that money, then we don't need it the next year. And that decreases seriously how much we can do through a whole fall and spring semester. And that can seriously hinder what happens next year. Because clubs that come to us now for money will think, hey, other clubs will come and look to us for money as well, and that money won't be able to be there to be able to help them out. So I suggest that we spend the $2,000, or even increase the amount that we send to them. I suggest that we increase the amount, Madam President, because at the end of it all, after the budget is tallied, we will have $4,369.98 left in the budget that will be going back to the state. And $4,000 is a lot of money to go back and to be taken back out of our budget for next semester.
Okay, so.
I suggest that we increase the amount that we send to them to $4,000.
Okay, so if you want to put in a motion for that. We're gonna move this motion into a vote though.
We had to.
Yeah.
Point of information. I agree with not returning the money to the state so they don't reduce the budget. But at the end of the day, if you give them $4,000 or any amount higher than we're going for right now, other clubs are gonna come. And then we have things that we're gonna plan for those times, and we won't have the funds for them. I agree, give them money, but not $4,000.
Okay, I'm moving this motion into a vote. Okay, so, all in favor? Oh, there's a motion on the floor, let me read the motion, okay. There's a motion on the floor that reads, I, Chizoba Naruka, move that we allot $2,000 for Skills USA for their trip since they requested for $10,000. We want to allot $2,000. Is this motion seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion has been properly seconded by Catherine Jones. And I'll now move this motion into a vote. All in favor? All in favor?
Madam President.
We're voting. Okay, all in favor? Okay, all opposed? all abstentions. Okay, this motion fails with 3, 4, 6 opposed, and 4 abstentions. Is there any more new business to be brought to the floor?
I, Chizoba Naruka, move that we allocate $800 for the YMCA Family and Friends event on the 24th of June.
Does anyone need any clarification? Oh, there's a motion on the floor that reads, I, Chizoba Naruka, move that we allot $800 for the YMCA Family and Friends event on the 24th of June. Is this motion seconded? Second. Okay, motion seconded by Bianca Reyes. On this, does anyone need any clarification on this?
Did you say fire information? Okay, fire information.
What exactly? What exactly is it? No, what is the money for?
$800.
Yeah, because you just said something like
For family and friends, okay.
Family and Friends Day is actually something we do for the community, and we do it at YMCA. For the family to come and enjoy the pool, the gym, it's just fun. It's to pay for the facility for that. I can't remember how long it is, but 3:30 to 7:30. Yeah, it's just to cover the hours that we're using it.
Does anyone else need any information on this motion? Okay, I'll now move this motion into a vote. All for or all approving? Okay, all opposed? Okay, abstentions? Okay, this motion passes with unanimous vote for. Okay, is there any more new business to be brought to the floor?
Yes, ma'am. I bring a new motion to the floor, that we allocate $4,000 for the Skills USA competition in June, and that we require all clubs for future reference to follow their guidelines in their constitutions, which is provided to them, that they have two representatives, 2 active representatives in the SGA, and that they follow their requirements to be active with us when they decide to ask for funds.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor that reads, I, Patrick Wing, move that we allocate $4,000 for the Skills USA competition in June, and that we require the rest of the clubs to follow through on their active representation in our SGA organization. Is this motion seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion is properly seconded by Marcus Woods. Okay, I think we've deliberated enough on this issue. So I'll move this motion into a vote. All for this motion? Any opposition? Okay, and any abstentions? This motion passes with 6 for, 4 against, and 2 abstentions. Okay, is there any more new business to be brought to the floor? Okay, I'll now move into announcements. The summer cookout has been moved to the 27th of June, from 11 to 2 in the gym. 11 to 2 in the gym. if you all look out for this, there'll be a sign-up sheet in the office, because we are gonna need, maximum participation for that day. We also have our third, you got the floor open mic on the 13th of June. We'll also need volunteers for that event from 11 to 2. And Family and Friends Day is on the 24th of June at the YMCA from 3:30 to 7:30. We'll also need participation for that event. And SGA Day is on July 9th. Is there any more announcements that need to be made? Sergeant at Arms?
If everyone could look in their folders, the first sheet, the attendance guidelines. For those of us who don't know, each member is required to do 2 hours a week in the SG office. And we do have a sign-in sheet that's in a book, and every legislator and each officer will have their names on their personal sign-in sheet. And when I do create the time slots for everyone with the fall schedules, it will be in that book, and you'll have to go in there and sign up in that book every time you go into the office. Please remember, because that will count towards you going to special events like N4CSGA and APCA or anything like that. And if you are unable to attend any SGA sponsoring event or anything that we're working, it is your responsibility to let me know if you can't be there, not 20 minutes before. I understand that situations come up, and if it is an extenuating circumstance, I will accept it. All members are expected to be at least 80% of events every semester, with exceptions for extenuating circumstances. And consequences for unexcused absences: the first time you'll get a call, the first time I'll take note, the second time I'll call, and then the third time I'll ask you for a reason, and then we'll bring it before the executive board where we'll decide the action that will be taken. And then I left a note at the bottom that says, please note that in the planning of general council meeting, each member's schedule is taken into consideration. So whatever schedule you give us, that's what we'll work with, and I understand that everybody's schedule might not be able to fit in to the meeting time, so that will be taken into consideration if your schedule is just the one person that they're not available at any time of the week. And that's basically it.
Are there any more announcements?
Reminder, there's an activities meeting Tuesday next week. 1 in room 14.
Any more announcements? Okay, we'll move into advisor remarks. Ms. Silvers?
Just introducing myself, I'm Teresa Chauvin. I'm one of the advisors, I'm not the main advisor. I just want to welcome our new legislators and welcome our new executive board. And welcome back anyone that's been from last year and that's going to be working out. To talk about the attendance, you won't see me at 80% of the events because I'm a full-time instructor and I do other things. So when I'm here, it's because my schedule allows me to be here. But Mr. Daniels, of course, will be here most of the time at the events and other things that you have going on. I make most of them. I don't make all. Last semester was a really bad semester. I couldn't make any hardly because I was working every day. But those that I can make, then you will see me. And advisor means exactly that. We're just here to advise. We don't run it. We don't run the show. We don't make any decisions. We just kind of provide you with some background information and just kind of give you just a little information, possibly advise you in certain ways, but that's it. That's all we do. And just want to welcome everyone and hopefully have a good and prosperous new year.
Thank you, Ms. Silvers. I apologize, I want to move back into announcements for just a quick second. If you all take a note, our elected Secretary Mary Seibert has resigned. She's given a formal resignation. Standing in for our summer semester is going to be Ms. Catherine Jones. She's our standing in secretary. That position will open. That position is going to be open come the fall semester. So we will be holding elections before the end of the semester. So any of you that qualify and are interested in the position, please submit your platform. We will be drawing up more information on that, but I just wanted everyone to know that that position will be open for the fall. So now, I now adjourn this meeting at 4:14.